Welcome to Mythology Matters, where ancient narratives unfold a profound connection between history, mythology, and theology. We're going to talk about shamanism, found in Siberian and Native American and African traditions. Welcome to our exploration of shamanism, the world's oldest spiritual technology. Long before the rise of organized religion, the shaman stood as a bridge between the physical and the spirit realms. From the frozen tundras of Siberia, where the soul flight first took flight, to the Native American traditions, centered on the harmony of the Great Spirit, and the African lineages rooted in essential wisdom. Shamanism is a universal human tapestry. It is a practice of healing, mediation, and deep ecological connection that remains vital today. Chapter 1. The Cosmic Axis and the Siberian Proto-Tradition. To understand the roots of shaman spirituality is to look toward the permafrost and the taiga, where the term shaman has been adopted globally to describe various indigenous healers. It is etymological and conceptual cradle in the heart of Siberia. Here, among the Evenki, Tagas, and Mongolic peoples, shamanism emerged not as a religion of Doma, but as a sophisticated technology of the soul. It is a map of the unseen, designed to navigate a universe that is alive, sentient, and often dangerous. The architecture of the three worlds, central to Siberian shamanism, is a specific cosmological blueprint. The universe is not a chaotic void, but a structured, multi-layered house. This architecture is typically divided into three distinct realms: the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. The upper world, the domain of celestial beings, creators, and high-order spirits. It is often associated with the color white and the sun and the eagle. The middle world, the physical plane inhabited by shamans, animals, and the spirits of praise, the masters of mountains, rivers, and forests. This is the realm of immediate interaction and friction. The lower world, often misunderstood through a Western lens as hell, the Siberian lower world is more accurately a realm of its ancestors and powerful earth deities. It is a place of shadows and roots, essential for the cycle of rebirth. The shaman is a unique, liminal figure capable of traversing these boundaries. While ordinary people are confined to the middle world, the shaman possesses the spiritual mobility to ascend to the heavens or descend into the depth of negotiate with the forces that govern human fate. The axis mundi, the world tree, and the iron pillar. How does the shaman travel between these dimensions? They utilize the axis mundi, the center of the world. In the Siberian tradition, this is most frequently visualized as the world tree, often a batch of larch. Its roots penetrate the lower world. Its trunk passes through the middle world and its branches brush the sky. In some traditions, this axis is envisioned as a golden pillar, or the nail of the sky, the North Star, around which the heavens rotate. The shamans reach space is microscope of this axis. When a shaman enters their tent or stands by a consecrated pole, they are standing at the center of the universe. The soul flight is an act of climbing this tree or sliding down its roots. The shaman is carrying, or the shaman is calling, the sacred crisis. One does not simply apply to be a Siberian shaman. It is a vocation forced upon the individual by the spirits. This process usually begins with shamanic illness, maneric. The candidate may experience vivid hallucinations, seizure, or deep depressions that Western medicine might categorize as pathology, but which the community recognizes as a spiritual dismantling. During this crisis, it is believed the spirits rebuild the shaman. They might dream of their flesh being stripped from their bones and their internal organs replaced with iron or sacred stones. Only by surviving this symbolic death can the shaman gain the authority to heal others. They become the one who knows, having walked through the gates of death and returned. The drum. The shaman is steed. In the world tree is the Lord. The drum is the vehicle. The Siberian shaman's drum is a complex ritual object, often made from the wood of a struck by lightning tree and the hide of sacrificial animal. The drum is more than a musical instrument. It is referred to as the shaman horse. The repetitive, steady beat, typically 4 to 7 beats per second, induces an altered state of consciousness, in bracket ASC. Modern neurobiology suggests this rhythm facilitates theta wave brain activity, but for the Siberian practitioner, the sound is retro galloping of the steed carrying their soul across the spiritual tundra. The symbols painted on the drum, animals, stars, and spirit helper act as a GPS for the journey, ensuring the shaman does not get lost in the great emptiness. The ethic of the hunt and healing. Siberian shamanism is inextricably linked to the ecology of the north. It is the landscape where survival depends on the hunt. The shaman acts as diplomat between the tribe and the master of the animals. If the game disappears, it is believed the spirits are offended. The shaman must journey to the spirit realm to offer sacrifices or apologies to release the souls of the animal back into the middle world. Healing, too, is a matter of diplomacy. Illness is seen as soul loss, the idea that a person's vital essence has been started away or thrown by a malevolent spirit. The shaman's task is to go and find it. They must track the missing soul through the darker forest of the lower world, often engaging in spiritual combat or clever bargaining to bring the patient back to holiness. Analytical summary. The Siberian proto-tradition reveals that shamanism is the ultimate expression of animism. It assumes that the world is a community of persons, only some of whom are human. The shaman is the bridge, the translator, and the technician who ensures that the fragile thread all human life remains woven into the grand tapestry of cosmic axis. In this world, there is no supernatural, only a nature that is much larger and more complex than what the eyes can see. Chapter 2. Transcontinental variations. Native Americans and African traditions. As the core shamanic archetypes migrated across the Bering Land Bridge into the Americas, all evolved through the ancient unbroken lineage of the African continent, the Siberian template underwent a profound metamorphosis. While the fundamental mechanics, altered states of consciousness, spirit mediation, and animistic belief remained, the expression of these practices adapted to the specific anchorages and social structures of their new environments. Shamanism in these regions moved from solitary, soul-flight, or the north toward more communal, ancestral, and earth-bound manifestations. Native American traditions, the weaver of the Great Spirit. In North American indigenous cultures, the figure often labeled as a shaman by outsiders is more accurately described as a medicine man or medicine woman. I say, by outsiders is more accurately described as a medicine man or medicine woman. Unlike the Siberian practitioner, who often operates in a state of isolated ecstasy, the Native American spiritual leader is deeply integrated into the communal and ethical life of the tribe. The medicine wheel and the circle of life. Whereas the Siberian tradition emphasizes a vertical axis, the world tree, many Native American traditions emphasize a horizontal, circular cosmology. The medicine wheel, this wheel represents the 4 directions, the 4 seasons, and the 4 stages of life. Shamanic practice here is less about living the world and more about realigning with its natural cycles. The vision quest. One of the most distinctive variations is the democratization of the spiritual experience. In many plain cultures, the journey is not reserved solely for the specialist. Through the vision quest, an individual undergoes fasting and isolation in nature to receive a personal sign or power animal spirit. The shaman's role in this context is often that of an interpreter or a guide, helping the seeker integrate their vision into the tribal collective reality. Totemism and kinship. Native American shamanism is defined by a radical kinship with the non-human. Animals are not just spirits, not to be negotiated with. They are elders' relatives. A shaman might wear the spirit of the bear or the wolf, not just as a costume, but as a biological and spiritual merging. This is facilitated by the sacred pipe, which acts as a portable access mundi, carrying prayers to the great spirit Wakan Tanka or Gichi Manitou through the medium of smoke. African shamanism. The ancestral anchor and the living dead. In sub-Saharan Africa, shamanism takes on a distinctly social and temporal character. While the Siberian shamans look to the stars and the Native American looks to the horizon, the African practitioner looks to the ancestor. In cultures such as the Zulu, Sangoma, Xhosa, and the Yoruba, the boundary between the living and the dead is a thin, permeable membrane. The role of the Sangoma and the divine calling, the African shamanic path often begins with Ukwatha, a calling through illness or dreams sent by the ancestors, Amadorosi. If a person ignores this call, they may suffer misfortune. Once initiated, the practitioner becomes a bridge to the living dead. Spirit possessions versus soul flight. A major transcontinental variation is the method of mediation. While the Siberian shaman sends their soul out of their body, the African practitioner often invites the spirit in through rhythmic drumming and dance. The shaman enters a trance where ancestor or dad takes control on their body to speak directly to the community. This is a communal exorcism and counsel, turning a private spiritual experience into a public theater of healing. Divination is the technology of the bones. African shamanism is world-renowned for its sophisticated divination systems. A Sangoma might throw the bones, a collection of shells, bones, and seeds to read the patterns of the universe. This is not fortune-telling in the Western sense. It is a diagnostic tool used to identify where the patient has fallen out of the step with their ancestral lineage or social obligations. Comparative analysis. Ecosystems of the spirit. The variations between these traditions are largely driven by the spirit of the land. Elbracht, Genius Loss. Siberians, the hunter solitude, focuses on the individual's battle against a harsh, freezing environment. The shaman is a lonely scout in the spirit world. Native American, the guardian of the circle, focuses on the harmony of the tribe within vast, beautiful landscape. The shaman is diplomat for the natural world. African, the keeper of the lineage, focuses on the continuity of the family and the tribe across time. The shaman is a bridge to the past, ensuring his ancestors are honored so the future remains stable. The universal thread, the wounded healer. Despite these region differences, the transcontinental shaman shares a singular psychological profile. The wounded healer, whether in a Siberian youth, a Lakota sweet lodge, or a Zulu hunt, the practitioner is someone who has looked into the abyss of their own suffering and returns with tools to heal others. They all operate on the principle of energetic reciprocity. They believe that every act of taking from the earth, hurting, harvesting, building, must be balanced by an act of spiritual giving. In this sense, shamanism is the world's oldest conservation. In this sense, shamanism is the world's oldest conservation movement. A realization that the health of human soul is inextricably tied to the health of the unseen world around. As we close this exploration of shamanism, it is clear that while the landscape of Siberia, the Americas, and the Africa differ, the heartbeat of the shaman remains the same. Whether through the rhythm of the drum, the smoke of scared pipe, or the wisdom of ancestor, this tradition reminds us that we are part of living, breathing cosmos. Shamanism is not merely a relic of history, but all a profound blueprint for living in balance with the unseen forces of our world.